Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back, as always, on Tuesday evenings. It is Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
And I am Chad Lee. It is April 9th.
It is April 9th.
Yeah, when to give the date.
I
Yeah.
like that. It's April 9th.
Yeah.
We're already cruising through April.
We are.
We got
tough
almost
to believe.
80s this weekend here in Colorado.
Yeah, it was really warm. It was really nice.
Next weekend.
Oh,
No,
nice. Cool.
77.
Dude, yeah, there wasn't any wind today, which I was just so happy about. Man, I'm tired of the windstorms every fucking day.
I talked to Andrew, and he lost power Saturday night
Oh, wow.
into Sunday off and on. And then it's Sunday at 1 o'clock. He didn't have power until last night.
Oh, shit, that sucks.
I guess like a big-ass pine tree. He lives over in Arvada.
Mhm.
And right at the end of his street, a big-ass pine tree blew over and knocked out all the power lines.
That'll fucking do it, man.
That will do it.
Yeah, it's been strong enough for that. It's been like really windy here lately,
has
so
been
yeah.
windy.
I mean, it could be like super sunny and the weather, like the temp could say like 70, but then it feels like 50 or something.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's pretty wild.
Yeah, but dude, it's episode 78.
It is episode 78.
What does that mean?
That means it is Mr. Anthony Munoz is
Munoz.
the featured athlete this week. Wore 78 his whole career. Chad, give us a little rundown of him.
I will, because representing the Hispanic community. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, is an American former professional football player who was a offensive tackle who played 13 seasons with the Cincinnati Bengals of the National Football League. He played college football for the USC Trojans. In 2022, an ESPN panel named Munoz as the greatest offensive tackle in NFL history.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, he was inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1998.
Yeah, and Munoz was the third overall pick in the 1980 NFL Draft by the Cincinnati Bengals, as Chad mentioned. His selection was viewed as a major risk by many pundits since knee problems limited the 6'6", 280-pound Munoz to just a combined 16 games in his final two college seasons. Munoz did play in two Super Bowls during his time with the Bengals, Super Bowl 16 and Super Bowl 23, both narrow losses to the San Francisco 49ers. One crazy thing, the greatest offensive tackle ever was only 280 pounds. Isn't that nuts?
Isn't that crazy, dude? Yeah, I mean, he's super tall, but not very heavy. You know what's nuts as well? I didn't really notice this.
Tell me about it.
He also appeared in two motion pictures, 1980's Borderline as Guatemalan, okay, and 1983's...
That was his name, was Guatemalan?
I guess...
Huh.
Yeah.
It literally says, as Guatemalan.
Yeah, that's what it says. And 1983's The Right Stuff, an Academy Award nominee for Best Picture. Wow.
And in that movie, he was
As
Gonzalez. So
Kind of
they
typecast there.
Typecast a little bit, either Guatemalan or Gonzalez. He also served as a color commentator on Fox Sports from 1994 to 1995. And has for many years been color commentator for TV broadcast of Bengals preseason games.
Cool.
So, yeah, Anthony Munoz, like we said, obviously voted by a panel that he is one of the greatest offensive tackles in NFL history. If you look at his career highlights and awards, it's a lot.
Yeah, I think it seems to me, and I think this is really cool, that a lot of different NFL media and players consider this one of the most prestigious awards, where he was voted NFL Man of the Year, the Walter Payton Man of the Year, in 1991.
Yep.
That says a lot.
Yeah, he also was 9-time first-team All-Pro, 81 through 83 and 85 through 90. Two-time second-team All-Pro, 84 and 91. 11-time Pro Bowler from 81 to 91.
Wow.
Just a decade of Pro Bowls.
Dominant.
No big deal.
And then
take us some more.
1980s All-Decade Team, the 75th Anniversary All-Team, and then 100th Anniversary All-Time Team. Bart Starr Award in 1990.
Yeah.
And then a national championship in 1978. Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. Also, California Sports Hall of Fame, which I didn't know they just had a Sports Hall of Fame. I don't know if Colorado does. I'm assuming they probably do.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
So, anyways.
Pretty impressive. Hats off to Anthony Munoz.
Munoz. Yes, Munoz.
Yeah, thank you.
You're thinking of Frankie Muniz.
Yeah, I know. Frankie in the middle.
You know it.
Oh, before we go on to the intros, I do want to give a little correction. I hate when I slip up, but hey, we're not perfect. We do it sometimes.
No, as I like to say, even the best fuck up.
Yeah, and that's
we're
true.
far from the best.
Even Michael Jordan is shot sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Last week I said that Eric Spoelstra was the longest tenured coach in the NBA right now. Way off. It was definitely Greg Popovich. I even said right after that, I'm like, I think it's Pop, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I got it mixed up. But Popovich has been coaching the Spurs for 28 years right now, and Spoelstra's 15. And then right behind him is Michael Malone at 7 or 8, I think.
I think it's 8.
Yep.
So, yeah, quick correction there. We try to remember when we mess up and get you guys.
Yeah, we don't want to
corrected.
miseducate anybody out there.
Yeah, because, God forbid.
Mm-hmm. Well, right now we're watching the Milwaukee Bucks take on the Celtics. They got a 20-point lead on them right now, but I think the Celtics are in clear. Basically, into the season run, they got a little bit of senioritis. They're just ready for the playoffs to come on.
Yeah.
They've already pulled their starters. Oh, Jason Tatum's still in there. That's stupid.
Well, Milwaukee's just dominating right now.
Oh, yeah.
But Milwaukee's got stuff to play for, and we'll talk about that here shortly.
Yep. Chris, how was your weekend, man?
My weekend was entertaining, to say the least. I had a lot go on. Things I thought were happening are no longer happening. I'm going to be staying at Smalley, working alongside Chad.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so
Can't stay away.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, they sucked me right back in the claws. But yeah, I won't go into that stuff necessarily. I'll just say things changed, and here we are.
Cool.
But yeah, Saturday. What did we do Saturday? I don't know. We started watching that show Bodies on Netflix.
I don't know what that is.
It's like kind of like a time travel show.
Are you talking about 3 Body Problem?
No, because I thought that's what we were watching for the first 2 fucking episodes.
Oh, that's crazy. That's
because you want to know why? It involves 3 bodies, but it's the same body. And it's in like 1891. They find this naked body that's been shot in the eye.
Whoa.
And nobody knows what's going on. And then there's another body. It's like bouncing through 3 time periods. There's another body in 41.
Weird. That is like 3 Body Problem, but it's not.
Yeah, well, I got kind of intoxicated Friday night when we started it, and then we started watching it again on Saturday, and I was like, is this that 3 Body show? And Meryl was like, no, it's Bodies. And I was like, this is all very confusing because this show has 3 bodies.
It's like they're putting out too much of similar things.
They're just like,
going
this
on
is the
right
same shit. But it was pretty entertaining. We finished watching that. We've been watching a lot of Is It Cake?
Oh, that show's awesome.
It is a good show.
That
It's
show.
like
It's so
totally
confusing,
stupid
man.
TV, but it does fuck with
it's
you.
good trash TV, but
Yeah.
it really is impressive. It's like, how can this be cake?
Yeah, it blows your mind.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that chocolate show?
What's
It's
that?
got a really creepy guy. He's like I don't think he's French or he's like Spanish. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
He's very weird, but he like makes the craziest chocolate shit you've ever seen. Like
Oh shit!
full size like sculptures in chocolate.
Oh
It's
man,
nuts.
I love when they do that stuff.
But yeah, we watched some of that, and then Sunday we finished up pretty much over at that house we've been dealing with, and then I did a whole bunch of research on all of the things we're gonna post, and we're getting ready to post all that stuff. So
rad.
Now we're here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll get into it, man. It was
let's talk about it.
It was an eventful weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Nuggets game on Saturday.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was a blast. Had to post for the Fringe page. I feel like anytime we're at a live event, one of us should definitely post from there. It's mandatory. We'll just make it
you got
mandatory.
it. It's free content.
Because even when I was at the Chiefs game, just got to. When you go to a Broncos game, you got to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But, man, we had a blast. I picked a perfect game to go to. I got this friend, Jennifer, where she's got season tickets, and she couldn't go. We went to the Atlanta Hawks game, and I chose that one because I knew they would win. And I hate seeing losses, dude. It's just – it stresses me out too much to even see, like, a good game.
Yeah.
I hate it. But, yeah, they won by, like, 32. And it was great because – they were really sick seats. It was 258, so it was club level. So we got like extra.
Those were nice.
Yeah, it was like real good seats, like the view. But what's even better is the food and drink was just a step above everything else. Because we had some pork belly nachos, man. Oh my god. Fuck those things up, man. Oh, I destroyed them. It was great. I was supposed to share them, but there wasn't much sharing happening. And she was getting her champagne the whole time, and then I was like just drinking beers. Like, it was great. We always were like, the drinks are so fucking expensive. It's stupid. We're like, well, let's just have one round. And then after you get that buzzing, you're like, yeah, fuck it. We're here to have a good time.
Yeah, that's the one thing about drinking. It always makes that wallet open up a little easier. Too.
Easier,
It's
dude.
just
They're like, oh, here's $45
Yeah.
for 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Dude,
it sucks. And
the parking jumped up to $40, man. Well, we did park pretty close, but yeah, that was stupid. But I want to get into what was actually really cool about the game, man. This is why I love going to live sports games, is the fans. You know, if you get some good fans around you, it really makes it. And so we had close to us this old lady that was probably in her 60s.
hell yeah.
Standing up on every single basket, man. She was in it. And I could just see she looked over at me to high five all the time.
Yeah.
And then her husband's just over there just relaxing, this old guy just chilling. You could tell he went for her.
Yeah,
like
he's
that was her
"God
event.
damn, we're going to the Nuggets game."
Oh, man. It made it totally worth it. And then right behind us was this like 13-year-old girl who like her dad brought her. And to me, this was like a 13-year-old Angel Reese. I mean, this was the black girl that had like the braids in with the Nuggets ribbons all in it. She was super into it, and she was diehard. Every single basket. I mean, she was so locked in on everything going about the game, and it was great because with such a big lead there towards the end, you know, like Hannah turned to me and she's like, you know, do you want to leave a little early? And I was like, yeah, we can bail a little early. I don't want to keep you here the whole time. I would definitely be down for it, but I said, all right, we'll leave in the last 3 minutes. And I like not long after that, I heard her say to her dad, she was like, we can leave with like 2 minutes left. They're dominating.
Yeah.
Dude, like everything she was saying was just cracking me up. Like
That's
to see
awesome.
someone like that young, this girl that was just like so into the game, so into the NBA, you know, seeing all the different types of stereotypes and different people make it all worth it.
I see you got a Maxie the Minor shirt.
I
too.
did, dude. It's 40% off.
What?
That's what I was gonna say too. Is like that's what's great about them just whooping ass, like going to a live game. You don't feel so obligated. Like Chiefs games, or you know, when it's a close game, you don't want to miss any action.
Yeah.
But with this, like, you know, there's TVs around the hallways and stuff. So we went down to the merch store, got a bunch of stuff. You know, we were up. You know, we probably spent like half the game at our seats. Because when we got the pork belly nachos, we went in that club level, and I mean it's a nice area to just like we sat and ate our food there. But yeah, got a new shirt, rep on the
Maxie
pod,
the
man. And
Minor,
then I saw you got one off Craigslist.
Yeah, got me an old school Super Bowl 32 Broncos shirt.
I dig it. It looks new. That's what's pretty cool about it, though.
That was another $10 score, dude. I'm fucking.
Damn. That's way cheaper than Fanatics, so I'm about it. But,
yeah. Plus, it's it's vintage, as they say.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Well, then Sunday, I think we were just a little bit inspired by watching live basketball. We even played basketball across the street at the schoolyard, so that was cool. We haven't played in a long time.
Just put it on you.
Yeah, she whooped my ass again,
Nice.
man. It's embarrassing.
What was the score?
We just played horse, like three or four games of horse. We've kind of come to the determination of like we come to the decision
You can't play.
we can't play 1-on-1 anymore because I'm gonna end up tearing my ACL or just like seriously hurting myself.
She's gonna fucking break your ankles and your knees
Yeah.
gonna.
She's fast, dude. She's super
not
fast.
without it,
yeah. So I don't want to get hurt and not be able to go work. So I'm like, well, we're just gonna take it easy and play horse.
Yeah.
And can't even
That's
win
fair.
in that.
No.
But dude, we couldn't even really play. I don't even remember what we were just talking about.
You just shoot the ball
Dude,
and it's like
the wind. I would shoot it and it would just like hit a wall, and I'm like, this. So we kind of stopped after like 30 minutes or so. But
bummer.
yeah, it was a good time.
Nice. Hell yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are again.
Well, I think
time
we're
for
ready
headlines.
to get into some headlines.
Let's do it.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
Yes, it is time for headlines. Each and every week we try and bring you a few headlines from each and every one of the major sports to keep you informed like we are.
Here we go.
As always, we are going to start with the NFL.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
Giving him the business. And we're giving you the business of the NFL. Chad, why don't you start us off?
I believe it happened on the first, but I think somehow we just skipped it and we missed it. But Jets, they traded for Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you see what what was the trade? Let me look it up.
It was a third-round pick in 2026, but it's a conditional one where if terms are met, it can turn into a second.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, way to go on that. You got it before I did.
Yeah.
You're faster than the interwebs.
It's the old steel trap, man.
Yeah.
But I thought it was significant because they already got Quinn Williams, a ferocious defensive line. It's Solomon Thomas, I think, and then who's the other guy that's like a fucking stud there on that D-line? I can't think of his name right now. But
we're no Al,
yeah, for real, dude. That's what I'm saying. We can know a little bit, but not all.
Yeah. One thing I did want to mention, shout out to Logan Ryan, two-time Super Bowl champ of the Patriots, retires. Played in 6 conference championship games and won 2 Super Bowl rings as a cornerback and safety over his 11th season. Announced his retirement Tuesday. So hats off to Logan Ryan. Played most of his career with the Patriots, and then he also played for the Titans, Giants, Bucks, and 49ers. So big ups to him on retiring.
Yeah,
That's
had a good
hell of a career.
Damn good career.
Yeah, now let's let Chad do some Homer news.
Yep. A quick little tidbit right here. We might see another high-scoring night from Luka Doncic. Halftime, Mavs 69-47 for the Hornets, and Doncic has 27 points. So we're probably going to get a 40 burger from him.
Dang.
Yep. Well, in other news, the Chiefs re-sign Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Mike Dana. Yep. So good to see those guys back. I was kind of shocked that they brought Clyde back, but did you hear how they kind of good call.
Probably shouldn't have wore a sweater, but I wanted to wear the new one.
Well, the fan will help. They kind of pulled one of those moves where they got Clyde to sign by getting J.K. Dobbins to visit. I think it was last Friday.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, Dobbins was visiting, and just so happened later that day, Clyde signed.
Yeah, he's like, maybe I will sign.
Yeah, because it threatened me a little bit. But yeah, the Mike Dana one's the one that I'm really pumped about because we've pretty much brought back everybody on defense except for Snead. So
yeah, and maybe Snead was one of those ones you need to let go. There's a lot of people saying now with his knees that they're worried about how long he'll go.
Yeah, that is kind of an iffy thing there. But I think there's talks that we could draft a cornerback, so we'll see. Another NFL headline. It's actually in the UFL. They got a kicker that's been booting it. A guy named Jake Bates. First week of UFL, kicked a 62-yarder. Last week, kicked a 64-yarder, and it could have been for a game winner. I can't quite remember. It could be
I think it was,
yeah.
but I cannot remember either.
I think it was, and that's where it's even more impressive because of the pressure that was on the line. But, this guy's kicking his way into the NFL.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing, and that's what we're supposed to see from the UFL is these players now getting a chance in the NFL. Other news in the UFL, kicker, I don't know what his actual name is, but he goes by Destroying on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Actually was one of the guys who ended up getting screwed over before the NFL or NIL stuff happened. He was making a ton of money. His name is Donald De La Haye. Goes by, like I said, Destroying, Destroying. Basically told the NCAA to go screw themselves because he was making more money on his YouTube channel, and they were like, well, now you're ineligible. So he's had a crazy path trying to get back into kicking. He is an insanely good kicker. If you watch any of his YouTube videos, the dude can boot 70-yard field goals pretty regularly. Granted, it's not during a game, but he does have a bunch of crazy videos of him kicking. On his first tackle, ends up fracturing his neck. In the UFL. Playing, he's on the Brahmas, I believe.
Awful, man. That's scary.
Just a shitty thing to have happen for a guy who's trying to make it, to live his dream, and unfortunately going to have a setback. And he was possibly going to get a chance to maybe kick in the NFL this next year. So,
damn,
bummer. We have two, different sides of the spectrum in terms of kickers in the UFL. So. Who would have thought?
I wouldn't doubt it if somebody signs Jake Bates in the offseason.
Yeah, one more thing. This happened, I believe it was on Friday, but the Carolina Panthers signed defensive tackle Derek Brown to a 4-year contract extension. It's a $96 million deal with $63.165 million guaranteed. The $24 million per year is the 4th highest in the NFL for a defensive tackle. It trails Chad's Chiefs, Mr. Chris Jones, Raiders Christian Wilkins, and Ravens Justin Matabuke.
I think he was a 2nd overall pick, wasn't he?
I think he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of Auburn.
Yes. So,
all right,
that's gonna do it for the NFL. Chad, don't do that.
I know.
Let's go to the NBA.
Take it roll! Outlet!
I was saying this all day Sunday.
Rain dance.
Yeah.
I'm burning. My legs are burning.
T, come on. I'm burning.
Burning.
All right.
Yeah. So
The only news we got is injury news on one person, and then it's basically standings after that. And we might just talk about a little bit of last of the season.
yeah. So Julius Randle out for the season, which is a big hit for the Knicks. But right now, Jalen Brunson is on fire. I think I wouldn't be surprised if you see Jalen Brunson, in the, I don't know, sneaking in on some MVP voting stuff because he is having a hell of a season this year.
I would imagine that he's got to be 6th or 7th down there.
Yeah, so bummer for them, though. Julius Randle, did you see what it was? I thought it was in his shoulder or something.
Oh, yeah, it was his shoulder.
Yeah, so...
He hasn't played for a while, but he's been trying to come back, and I think they finally just bit the bullet and said, we'll
finally
just call
shut him
it.
down, but, I mean, they're playing pretty good without him.
Yep.
They beat up on the
Bucks, wasn't it?
The Bucks. What was it? 122 to 109, and Jalen had 43 in that game. So they're doing pretty damn good now, and we'll talk about them in the standings shortly.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing I did want to mention, though, did you see Karl Anthony Towns has now been cleared for 5-on-5, nearing a return.
That's worrisome.
That
I
is
did not
very
know
worrisome.
That.
So
That is really good.
And then also, Ja Morant can claim self-defense in that lawsuit.
Yeah, I saw that was ruled today.
17-year-old kid tried to beat him up. So
yeah, that's self-defense against a 17-year-old.
Yes,
Real
yes.
good luck, Ja.
You beat up a kid that's like 3 years younger than you.
Pretty sad.
So yeah, that's really all we have in terms of headlines. Suns signed Isaiah Thomas through season's end, so good for Isaiah Thomas.
Wow. Yeah, he had that two-way
Former
contract.
Nugget. So good on him. So let's cruise down the Eastern Conference. You want to take this one, Chad?
Yeah, I'll do the Eastern Conference. Like I said earlier, the Celtics are taking on the number 2 seeded Bucks, and the Bucks still got a 16-point lead right now. Then the 3 seed Orlando Magic. That's
You got it. We can speak English here.
We're trying.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic, man, they're surprising everybody. They've passed the Knicks and are at that 3 seed. They're both tied with 16 games back of the Celtics, but I think they have the tiebreaker on the Knicks. I think that's what it is. But yeah, the 4 seed, the Knicks, 46-32. And then the Cavaliers, 46-33, 60.5 games back.
Which, we were talking about them a couple weeks ago. Like, wow, they could maybe end up in 3rd in the East, and now they've lost 3. Well, they've gone 3-7 in their last 10, and they are slipping.
Yeah, they're slipping really fast. The Pacers, I feel like, are the most unpredictable team in the East. I mean, some nights they're really good, other nights they're really bad. A lot of it's due to their bad defense, but they're sitting at the 6th seed at 45-34, 17.5 games back. And then in that in the play-in, 7 seed 76ers, 44-35. Then in the 8th seed Miami Heat, I think they have a very pivotal game. I think tomorrow night with. I think the 76ers, I can't quite remember. But 9 seed, the Bulls, 37-41, and then 36-42 for the Hawks.
Who are you talking about playing the 76ers?
It's like tomorrow night. I think it's a pretty pivotal game as far as seeding goes.
I don't think...
It could be I thought it's the Heat against somebody else, but... in that close spot. But either way, I think we got, 4 games left now? 36 and 78. Yeah, pretty much. Like 4 games left, I think, is what we're averaging between all the teams. Chris, you want to hit the Western Conference?
Yeah, let me do that for you real quick. Let's cruise down it. As I clicked away from it, of course. Well, in first, the Minnesota Timberwolves, who we just mentioned, are close to getting Karl Anthony Towns back, which I don't know if that necessarily makes them scarier or not. They have been playing incredibly well without him, as they are in first with 54 wins, 24 losses. They are 7-3 in their last 10 games, and they jumped ahead of the Nuggets, who are sitting in second with 54 wins, 24 losses, also 7-3 in their last 10 games. In third, you've got the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are slipping a little bit as they have fallen out of first with 53 wins, 25 losses, 5-5 in their last 10.
And important to note that Shea's a little banged up right now. That's why they've been
huge
losing.
for them. They definitely are an entirely different team without Shea in there.
Yes, they are.
Which is a pretty good case for him to win MVP, but I think Jokic has it locked up.
I think so.
In fourth, we've got the Clippers with 50 wins, 28 losses, and behind them are the Dallas Mavericks, 48 wins, 30 losses, but they are on a tear right now, 9-1 in their last 10, and they are trying to leapfrog the Clippers and land in fourth. And then in sixth, you've got the Suns with 46 wins, 32 losses, and then the Pelicans, who are a sneaky team, and they might move up into that sixth spot at 46 wins, 32 losses. They are right behind the Suns. Then you got the Kings rounding it out, 45 wins, 33 losses. And then you got the Lakers, 45 wins, 34 losses, 8-2. And then the Golden State Warriors in the 10 spot.
And that's pretty much how it is. From the rest down, the Houston Rockets eliminated, Jazz eliminated. So what he just listed is the top 10 seeds. I mean, it could shift around, but that's the teams that are in the playoffs. The other ones are all eliminated.
Yeah, and in the East, too, we're looking at the Bulls and the Hawks, I think, could still – well, dude, the East is –
I think it's still open a little bit, isn't it?
A little bit. Well, no, it isn't. Look how many people are eliminated.
Yeah, they're all eliminated. The
what
Nets
does PB
down.
mean?
I think
Oh, clinched playoff berth.
Yeah.
Oh, so then the East is all locked up too. So
Yep.
this is what we're going to be rolling into the playoffs with, and now it's just how the seeding's going to fall out.
tomorrow night's game, though.
Yeah,
Game
it's
of the season for the
huge
Nuggets.
in the West. Murray's back. He's shaking off some rust. They're looking to get their second win in the Jokic-Malone era in Utah tonight. The Jazz are just plummeting. They are trying to lose as much as they can.
They also have Markkanen out tonight. Jordan Clarkson's not playing tonight.
They've pretty much shut everybody down.
They have,
I think they're basically like, this is it. Let's see how far down we can get in the lottery. So hope they get that win tonight and they can sit everybody down relatively early to get ready for Minnesota tomorrow. So if you don't have anything going on tomorrow night, tune in to the Minnesota-Denver game. It is going to be incredibly influential in the playoff seedings, as well as you're going to be looking at pretty much a playoff game tomorrow night.
Get your popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn ready. Get your snacks and your drinks and just be ready to go.
The TV dinners. All right.
So, yeah, that is going to wrap it up for the NBA. Let's cruise into the NHL real quick, as the NHL is also winding down a little bit. So, here we go.
You do that, you go to the box, 2 minutes by yourself, and you feel shame, and then you get free.
Then you get free.
All right, what do we got for hockey?
Well, you know what? There's a few things going on. We've got McDavid day-to-day with a lower body injury. That is huge.
That's big.
For the Oilers, the Avalanche, Mikko Rantanen is in protocol. He did sit out the last game against the Stars. Yeah,
okay.
He got rocked pretty good. That's about it, really. Devils, Jack Hughes set for shoulder surgery tomorrow, so that's going to end his season, obviously, and that's about it, really.
Well, there was big playoff seeding kind of done, I think Sunday night, wasn't it, where the Avs lost pretty badly to the Stars.
Yeah, the Stars pretty much have now locked up first in the Central. The Avalanche, with a win tonight, will pretty much I think they might knock Minnesota out of the playoffs with a win tonight. And then the big thing is going to be the game against the Jets.
Yep.
Which I think is Saturday. I can't remember for sure. But
that's it.
game right there, if the Avs lose that one, they will lose home ice in the first round against the Jets. That's basically those two is like who's going to be playing for, home ice. So
Yeah, huge matchup.
Huge playoff implications. Let's roll down the Eastern Conference real quick. The Bruins are in first place in the Atlantic, 78 games played. They are at 46 wins, 17 losses, 15 overtime losses for a total of 107 points. Behind them are the Florida Panthers, 48 wins, 24 losses, 6 overtime losses for 102 points. And then in third, the Maple Leafs are sitting at 45 wins, 23 losses, 9 overtime losses for 99 points. And then the other team that has clinched, the Tampa Bay Lightning, are sitting at 43 wins, 27 losses, 7 overtime losses for a total of 93 points. Moving into the Metropolitan Division, you've got the Rangers, who have clinched at 53 wins, 21 losses, 4 overtime losses for a total of 110 points. The Rangers are on fire. Carolina Hurricanes are behind them, 49 wins, 22 losses, 7 overtime losses for a grand total of 105 points. And then in third, who they have not yet clinched, the rest of the guys haven't clinched, the New York Islanders are sitting at 35 wins, 27 losses, 15 overtime losses for a grand total of 85 points. The rest of the teams, the only teams that have been eliminated in the Metropolitan Division are the Columbus Blue Jackets. So the rest of these guys still are fighting for playoff position. Moving into the Central, you want to take that one?
Yep.
Right.
In the Western Conference, like we just talked about, the Dallas Stars have clinched playoff spot, 49 and 20 losses, and then at 107 points. Damn, are they leading for the President's Cup right now?
No, right now it is the Rangers, and they've got a
110. I
yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Then the Avs clinched as well, 48 and 24 at 102 points, and then the Winnipeg Jets, really close race there, 47 wins and 24 losses, 100 points.
Yep.
And then in the Pacific Division, the Vancouver Canucks clinched, and then 48 wins, 22 losses at 104 points. And then the Oilers clinched as well at 47 wins and 24 losses and 99 points. And then right behind them are the Los Angeles Kings, 41 wins and 25 losses.
Yeah, and then the majority of the teams that are eliminated all sit in the Pacific Division, as they have the most, with 4. The Kraken, the Flames, the Ducks, and the Sharks have all been eliminated. In the Central, the Coyotes and the Blackhawks have been eliminated. And then in the Atlantic, the Senators and the Canadiens.
Isn't that crazy to see the Kraken eliminated this year? Out of going on a run ever since their inception. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, they were bound to have a down year, and here it is. So,
finally.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
take
about
it,
time.
since they eliminated us.
They fucked up the Avs in the first round.
Yeah.
They beat them up bad.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty embarrassing there. So, let's go into the F1. Let's get a little racing.
I'm
Let's
down.
get a little speed. Feel the need for speed.
I actually watched some of this race. I was really pissed off because they didn't even complete a lap. Then there's a fucking red flag because of a wreck.
Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo and his teammates Tsunoda crashed.
Yep.
And
it was like 30 minutes, that they had to be in the red flag.
The second Red Bull team was wiped out of the race in the first lap.
Yeah, they weren't too happy with them either.
Yeah, they were not. And Daniel Ricciardo is on the hot seat. He may be getting released soon, so
Very
we'll
much
see.
so.
But your regular scheduled F1 continued this week as Max Verstappen was not stopping due to his car on fire. He wins the Japanese Grand Prix as he recorded a near perfect weekend, getting the pole position, fastest lap, and race victory. Climbing out of the car, it basically looked like he hadn't really done anything for the day. It was just another Grand Prix, no big deal.
Here in Mountain Time in Colorado, it was, I think, lap 15, which I fell asleep, and it was close to like midnight on Saturday night. And I was shocked I was able to stay up that late. But, I was
Especially
amped
after
up from
going
the
to
game.
the game.
Yeah, I was just amped up from it. But anyway, it was, dude, vibrate. What the hell?
Dude. Amateur hour.
Yeah, it was only lap 15 at that time, and
it's already over.
Verstappen had already had a 6-second lead on, I think it was Sergio at that point. I can't quite remember who had it, but yeah, it was just easy work. Wasn't much drama to it at all. I will say that it's pretty cool. Sainz just keeps making a name for himself in a case that he needs that other Red Bull seat.
Yeah, I think he's going to get it because I think Red Bull is going to throw
Ricardo
a ton of money at him. Well, he'll be getting Perez.
Oh, yeah.
Ricardo's going to be gone too, but Perez will be gone. I think. Yeah.
But Perez keeps finishing as second, though. Why would they get rid of him?
It's just like the meme you sent me. You're going to finish behind Verstappen anyways.
Yeah.
Sainz might push Verstappen, but dude, the guy is out of his mind in this car. I don't understand it. He finishes 12.535 seconds ahead of Sergio Perez, driving the same car. They're the same car.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Then you've got Carlos Sainz 20 seconds behind Verstappen, a little under 7 seconds behind Sergio Perez in the Ferrari, finishing in third. M'excuse. And then the Ferraris also got 3 and 4 as Charles Leclerc finished right behind Carlos Sainz, a little under 5 seconds. So it continues. I don't really see it stopping. It's like we said, unless the car blows up or somebody wrecks him, he's not going to lose.
He has now won 20 out of his last 22 races.
Yeah. And like I said, it should be 21 out of 22, but his car caught him.
Yeah, that's the only reason
why.
why
He would have won.
And I saved something from that. I thought it was pretty interesting. When that race happened, that was his first race. His daughter was in attendance. And she asked him afterwards, like, Daddy, why didn't you finish the race? And he goes, well, my car was on fire. He just told her, it makes sense. He's just cold-blooded like that. Tells it to his daughter just like it is.
Yeah.
But then said
Daddy's
he wanted
car caught on
to
fire.
really finish and win this week to show her that she wasn't bad luck. So that's why I think he had a little extra motivation this time.
Good for him. So we do have a couple week break in F1 as the next race is April 19th through the 21st, 420.
Yeah.
That's going to be the Lenovo Chinese GP at the Shanghai International Circuit. That is going to be one that starts at 1 a.m.
Whoa.
So,
tough one to watch there.
I think I made it to lap 35 before I fell asleep on the couch, and then Meryl woke me up like at lap... Though I think the race was over, and she was like turning down the TV, and I was like, I guess I'll just get it's about time.
It's so late. Can't wait for the American ones.
Yeah, no, it's the American ones are nice because it's like normal time, or like the ones where it's like 3 in the afternoon or 10 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that ain't bad at all. That's gonna be a ways from now. I think that's not till October. Yep, October.
Dang.
Sweet.
All right, so what do you want to get into next?
Let's do the PGA. We'll cover that, and then I think we should get into musical break.
Oh my God, musical break. Oh, dude, we haven't done the PGA in so long. I gotta find it.
I know, it's the one that's like Adam Sandler, I think.
It is Adam Sandler. Give me 1 second here.
Maybe I'll just do it for you. Go to your home. Why didn't you go to your home?
Son of a bitch, Paul. Why didn't you just go home? That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
The ball is too good for its home, but
and it is announced. I guess that sequel is in production.
I don't know whether to be worried or pumped, you know?
Why would you be worried? It's an Adam Sandler movie.
I don't know. That could suck.
I don't know. A lot of his movies are pretty funny. Some of them suck.
Well, what about the one with his sister, where he played his sister?
Jack and Jill?
Pretty terrible.
I hated that movie. That's
god-awful.
But Happy Gilmore was one of the legendary ones.
It is,
so
but that's what scares me. It's like if they're told you they're going to make a Step Brothers sequel. Case in
Dumb
point.
and Dumber was bad. Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. The
so
Dumb and Dumber sequel.
But
yep. I hear
would be
you,
excited. I would be excited.
I understand your concerns. Well,
hello, friends.
We got the Masters coming up.
The Masters this week.
Big deal.
It's happening.
Yep. I want to make a wager with you and Dan and a few guys at work, and we each pick a golfer. That's what we've done in the past.
Okay.
Yep. You just pick one golfer before it happens. So we'll see.
Well, we'll talk about that. Well, are you coming back to work this week?
I am a Thursday. I got to get my car work done tomorrow. So I figured I'd text you guys and see what you want to do.
You just were taking the rest of the week off or what?
Nope. I'll be back Thursday.
We got to get rid of that sick time, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess I got to do that too.
Yeah, you can't waste it, man.
Days off, dude. Dang.
Yep.
All right, anyways, let's get into it,
Dude, it's pretty much right now the two front runners, John Rahm, last year's winner.
Scheffler.
And Scotty Scheffler, who's been on a hot streak. Sizzling.
It's totally sizzling. It is the first major championship of the season, and it is the most prestigious one, of course, at Augusta National, which I don't believe allowed women to play there until like 2005.
Oh, yeah, no. It's
or you
sad.
could play there, but you couldn't be a member.
Yeah.
But, they're a little behind the times, but it is one of the most beautiful golf courses in all of America, and watching it is a sight to behold. It is always a fun time. You get Jim Nance. He's still back, isn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
Jim
You get
Nance
the
is
green
incredible.
jacket.
Green jacket. You
big
get a
deal.
lot of people whispering. And now he's approaching the green. It's like, you guys are like a mile away. Why are you whispering?
Don't want to distract him.
But yeah, so it's going to be a fun one, as Chad said.
We got the live golfers coming in.
The live golfers are coming in. You got Tiger Woods, you got Dustin Johnson, you got Jordan Spieth, Phil Mickelson, and as Chad mentioned, defending champion Jon Rahm.
Yep.
And also, don't forget Rory McIlroy, who I believe Tiger Woods has said he thinks Rory can finally win his first Masters this year. That's what Tiger said.
Yep, and
goat.
a lot of it is due to a lot of the pressure being on Scotty and Rahm, and a lot of attention being on Tiger. Tiger's coming back for his first time trying to golf in a long time.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he makes the Friday cut.
Finishes the
Yeah,
round. That's what
his
we're
main thing.
worried about. But yeah, I think that's one reason that Roy could really turn it around. And
Look
actually
at the
win.
Mavs in the third quarter, 97-78 on the
Oh my
Hornets.
God! Just like we were talking about, Luka's at 37 right now. He's gonna definitely get it well over 40.
Anthony Davis has got a headache and is nauseous. He won't play tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Poor guy.
Dude, I definitely think it's bullshit that he's not gonna get Defensive Player of the Year. I would never either him or Wemby over Gobert. Gobert's missed so many games, and his numbers aren't anywhere close to Wemby's or Anthony Davis's. I think this is bogus,
they want to
man.
just. I think they know. Obviously, Wemby's gonna get Rookie of the Year.
And they don't want to give
He's
him the
probably
Defensive
gonna-
Player of the Year.
He might get. Isn't there Defensive Rookie of the Year too? Though he'll probably get that. I don't know.
I
if
don't
there
think
is.
I don't know if they do that in.
I thought they did, but
I don't know.
Either way, yeah, I thought it was stupid that I saw that Gobert is like the front runner. But
It's so dumb. He doesn't deserve it.
anyways, back to golf.
All right.
The Tiger pairing for the first two rounds should be something you guys might want to tune into. It is Max Homa, Jason Day, and Tiger. That is one hell of a pairing to roll out for the first two rounds. But again, it's tough to watch golf when it's Thursday and Friday in the morning.
It is, but when you're at work and you can put an AirPod in, it is nice to listen to.
That's true.
I do that sometimes. Who do you got picked, man?
Man, I don't know. I think Scheffler's going to pull it out. I don't think Rahm's going to go for the back-to-back,
That would
although
be
it is
tough.
the season of back-to-backs.
Yep. And if Roy wins, then that would be a grand slam for him. That would be his last major to get.
Yeah. So
You know who
I'm gonna
taking?
roll with Scheffler. Who?
Koepka.
Koepka?
Everybody's
You're gonna go
forgetting about
Brooks, dude?
Either him or Wyndham. I like Wyndham
Okay.
from
Wyndham
Colorado.
Clark, yeah.
Yep.
That's true. You also got Ashke Bhatia, who won his first Masters spot with a playoff win this weekend.
That was pretty wild.
I also think he's one of the first winners of the drive, putts, and chip challenge to have won a tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me,
Oh, I didn't know
that. I think that's. I almost typed ashtray Batia. I thought that's
nuts.
what I read was that he won that. But talk about something else real quick while I Google this.
All right. Well, I'm pretty excited for the Masters because I just really think that this is a perfect time for it. I think that we have seen some of the usual guys kind of win it. It was nice to see Jon Rahm win it. I think this could be a year where we get a surprise golfer that's going to not so much one of the main names, like a Wyndham Clark.
It is always a nice thing about the Masters and stuff is when you have one of these, like, even like the amateur guys that go on runs and stuff. The storylines are what's nice, but I'm just hoping we get back to golf again. That's not. I'm so sick of the live shit and just all the back and forth. I mean, it's great for us in terms of like giving a shit to talk about, but I just want to get back to being able to watch golf and it be enjoyable again.
I don't know if you've seen what I think it was Ron that said that he's ready for the merger. Like they're getting tired of them not getting all of the. I mean, because the merger's already been decided on, but they haven't done all of the details and all of the red tape that they need to make it official. And so now, like, that's why these live golfers can only golf at 4 events.
Yeah.
And we're just waiting for it. I mean, I would love to see.
I thought we were already supposed to be past that. And
I
they
thought
were just
so too.
But
They're still dragging
and
their
with
feet.
everything with Liv and them now not getting to be on the world rankings and stuff, like I don't know, like it's so weird. But needless to say, looking forward to the Masters. And yes, let me say his name right because I think I fucked it up earlier. It is Akshay Bhatia. I think I said Akshay. I might have messed it up. Either way, Akshay Bhatia. So every kid in Augusta's National Drive, Chip, and Putt competition dreams of one day returning to play the Masters, and Akshay Bhatia will be the first to make that fantasy a reality on Thursday.
That's pretty cool.
If winning the Texas Open in a playoff over Denny McCarthy on Sunday to claim the last spot in the Masters field was not enough of a fairy tale, Bhatia made it all the more dramatic when he dislocated his shoulder doing a massive fist pump after draining a 12-foot birdie on the 18th to force extra holes. He injured himself. But yeah, it's super cool to see. There's a lot of kids. I think on Wednesday, I think they do the drive, chip, and putt challenge, and it is pretty fun to watch.
Oh, that's
on ESPN.
sweet.
So,
yeah.
it's pretty cool to see him go full circle from winning that at the Masters to now competing.
It's basically the equivalent of like a football player that did like, what was it, punt,
Andy
passing,
Reid.
kick.
He won that.
Yep.
And it looked like he was a giant. It looked like he was 40 years old.
It did not look fair.
Yeah. He was seriously like 6'3",
Towered over those
260,
kids.
and like the next kid was like a 10-year-old.
I could watch that video, and he just chucks it.
He's just like, ah!
Like 80 yards down. Oh, that's so great. I love that. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty cool. We'll probably recap the Masters with you guys next week.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm responding to people. Somebody said, "Found you, 821 Joker."
Yeah, that was Dan. He was just wondering. He said, "I can't find the podcast," so found us. Well, you want to get into the UFC or you want to get into the musical break?
Where are we at? Let's do the musical break.
I'm down.
All
Let's
right.
hear it.
Give me 1 second here. I'm slacking this week. I'm definitely slacking a little bit. So the music break guest is Boot Gun, and this is going to be off of their new album, which is called One for the Willing. And the name of the song is Everybody's Talking. If you're watching the live stream, I did say that this would be the final week that you would be seeing the cut screen stuff while we went to break, but it's going to be next week that happens because I've had a crazy week. So needless to say, we will be right back.
Clock in anywhere you keep talking. You keep on talking, everything you wish it won't come true. You die alone and it haunts you. Every dream you dream comes up short. That bar set too high, who's it really for? You keep talking. You keep on talking. You keep on talking. You keep on talking. You keep on talking until you walk away. So you find a man and he's twice your size. You square him up, you're ready to fight. You place your bet and you're cashing in soon. You grab his drink and then he grabs you. You keep talking. You keep on talking, punch you in the ribs and hits your face. He throws you down and he mops the place. You spit up blood while you're smiling, not letting up. You keep up that grin, you keep talking.
And we are back. If you are here after the fact, you just heard Everybody's Talkin' by Boot Gun off of their new album, One for the Willing. Go check out Boot Gun. They are a rad Denver band playing that kind of like southern rock.
Yeah, I dug it.
Time shit.
On last week's episode, I was like, oh
they're-
shit, I like
they're
this.
a rad band. Definitely dig them. You can go buy anything you want from them, whether that be, merch or their albums directly at bootgun.bandcamp.com. You can probably see a running thing here. I'm giving you all of these bands' Bandcamps because we want you to buy directly from them. So we are back. We want to talk about, we were going to have Ryan Kramer on this week, but he was going to a game, so unfortunately he could
Padres
not
game.
join us.
Yep.
But we are going to talk about his locks of the week. He did go 3 for 4. Or was it 3 for 4 or 2? Did we do 3?
So he got both of the college basketball bets right. He went points for both of them, I believe it was. 3.5 for Purdue, and then an 11.5 for UConn. Got that right. UConn definitely dominated. And this was in the Final Four games. And then he also suggested betting the under total points for the UFL games. Really obscure pick. Not many people bet on UFL, and we took him up on it. I went, I did 3 out of the 4. I was nervous to do all 4.
Did you win?
I even just with the 3, I think my odds were like plus 546 or something, and I happened to pick the one that wasn't, that didn't hit the under. Because one of the games hit over out of all the 4. So if I would have selected that other one, then it would have been fine.
I rolled with it. I put $10 on it and just see what happens. And the first game on Saturday was very, very close. I believe it was 40 was the over-under, and the game was 39.
Yeah, it was like real close.
Brahmas and the Showboats, 20... Showboats 19. The one that got us, though, was that second game, the Battlehawks and the Renegades.
Yep.
Battlehawks scored 27 to the Renegades 24. That one shot the wad. But the rest of them, though, still under.
It's close. I'm just going to keep doing it next week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to maybe strategically pick games more. The Battlehawks are looking like they are the best team. They've got A.J. McCarron as their quarterback.
That's right. Where he selected to go to the UFL instead of trying to keep playing for the NFL.
Yeah, so...
That's cool.
Definitely dig it. It was pretty fun to have just some other football, but it is not NFL football. But if you want to get a little bit of an update on what the kickoffs are going to look like, I do recommend maybe just catching one game this weekend and kind of seeing what it's about, because seeing it live, I think it makes, for one, it makes it make way more sense, and two, you get to see that it's making the game more enjoyable. It's like we said, it's just a big bummer when it's like, and the kickoff, and then it's like, and now we wait.
Dude, so I was rewatching the Super Bowl again, and I think it was maybe for my 6th time.
How many times is this now?
No, I just haven't finished it. I actually haven't gotten through it. But
I watch it every night before bed. It's how I go
With
to
my
sleep.
pants
It's
down.
like my nightlight.
in private.
I can't sleep without it now.
But they were kicking off, and it occurred to me, the first time we're going to see this is opening night kickoff Thursday night. And it's going to be wild to see, instead of it being just like, all right, 2025 season, here we go.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
That's what it's going to be.
The new kickoff. And instead of it just be like, you always see that with the opening kickoff of the new season, the cameras go crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be even wilder next year.
And now
with
commercial.
A new kickoff. It's going to be so fascinating.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
It's going to change things up, make things more exciting. And like I said, go check out the UFL and bet them unders this week.
Check out Ryan Kramer's picks. It's Kramer Centric on Twitter. We will have some. We're hoping to get some locks for next week, though.
Yeah, we will definitely get that squared away for next week. And then also check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. That is what Ryan Kramer is mainly doing a lot of his picks and stuff on. They're extremely informative when it comes to making picks.
And experience. I was shocked to learn that they started their whole business up in 2011. So they were way ahead of the game. It's pretty cool.
Dan said you should watch the 2020 Super Bowl more.
No way. No.
I love
not
it.
at all.
All right,
cool.
so let's get into a college basketball.
We had a couple natties.
Couple natties.
Basketball is a voluntary activity. It's not a requirement.
Gene Hackman.
Any of you feel you don't want to be on the team, feel free to leave right now. Did you hear what I said? Yes, you.
Sure, I'm just curious to know when we start.
We start when I say so.
Okay, would you kind of
You ever see The Quick and the Dead?
Yeah, a long time
It's a
ago.
badass movie, dude. It's a good
Don't
western.
come back until you learn to keep
It's probably
your mouth
one that
shut.
if I rewatched, I probably wouldn't be as impressed. But it used to be on TNT all the time back in the day.
Yeah, I just saw something too. For some reason, the tabloids were trying to drag Gene Hackman, dude.
What?
This
what
week?
did he do?
He wore the same clothes that he supposedly wore a couple weeks ago. The dude's 94. I wear the same
Dude,
clothes
no,
to work
that's-
every day. I
I'm
wear
not even
black
gonna
pants
talk about
and
that.
a black
It's-
T-shirt,
Yeah,
and people
every
probably think
single
I
day.
wear the same clothes.
It's like
every
Peter
day.
Griffin, dude. You just have or Doug
Yeah.
Funny. You know, it's like cartoon characters that have the
didn't-
same thing.
You didn't have to compare me to a fat guy.
You know what I'm talking about. Well, they showed Peter Griffin's. Like, that's the first name that came in my head.
You're a
no,
dick, dude. Oh, next thing, Chris Farley? Yeah. Okay, bro. I've heard it all my whole life.
you know what I mean. King of the Hill.
Yeah,
That's another
yeah.
one. I should have said King
Yeah.
of the Hill. They always have the same thing going on.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
Always
why
black.
change, dude? If you
But
got
yeah,
a
he's
good thing
94
going-
years old. What's the big deal?
When I'm 94, I'm not even gonna wear clothes. I'm just gonna be
Yeah, I
naked.
bet you're not.
Just like a baby.
They're gonna be like, you
I'm
lost.
just gonna be swaddled.
You're just gonna be wandering down the street. That's
Yeah.
what's gonna be happening.
That'll probably be at like 75. All right, let's get into the NCAA. We've got big headlines.
Yeah, shit happened.
Yeah, John Calipari has now left the Kentucky Blue Devils. Oh, why
What?
did I say
No,
Blue Devils?
Wildcats.
Wildcats. I'm sorry.
Different blue blood.
Yeah, different blue blood. Sorry. The Kentucky Wildcats, and now they are without their most prominent head coach for the last decades. How long has it been?
Last 16 years.
16 years?
Only one championship in that 16 years. It's kind of nuts. He's taken the Arkansas job. A lot of people saying, oh, he's scapegoating a lot of the pressure and everything like that. But I think he's just been seeing the writing on the wall where he's finally, from what I've heard in interviews, going to accept the transfer portal and start doing that because he said, he's been playing with 18, 19-year-olds, one and dones for the past 4 or 5 years. And it's been great. You look at the NBA talent that he's produced. Insane. Tyrese Maxey had 52 points the other night. Devin Booker scores 60 points once a week, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, he has had stars, but no national championships to speak of. While on the other hand, UConn.
Yeah.
6 championships in 25 fucking years, man. Dude, this to me is one of the best blue bloods now. At least of last recent years.
Yeah, I mean, they do have some down years when they don't win, but they have won 2 now back-to-back titles. And when was the last one? It was in the was it 2000s that they won?
So they won last year, and then I want to say it was only like 4 or 5 years ago.
It wasn't with this head coach. But
No, yeah.
Yeah, Dan Hurley. And here's the crazy thing. Dan Hurley says, I'm staying at UConn, has a chance to go to Kentucky, and says, nah.
Oh, yeah, and I don't blame him one bit. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The transfer portal's made it. Why do I have to go to Kentucky? I'm winning championships here. Why would these kids are going to transfer to me?
I don't understand why people keep thinking like it's the name. It's Kentucky. Why? So they're thinking it's a step up when UConn, who has 6 championships in the last 25 years, Kentucky hasn't really done shit. They've been going to the Sweet 16. They've gone to a few Final Fours over the last decade, but. I mean, I look it up. It's probably not a whole lot, and I think it's when they criticize him for that. It's like, why would you even bring this up? UConn's a better job.
Well, yeah, right now.
Yeah. You look
That's
at the
for
women's
sure.
program too. So you think of all those in NBA, WNBA alma maters, the boosters for that club. That program, that school's got money.
Yeah.
So they're expected to probably pay what I've heard Dan Hurley. I think around like $8 to $10 million a year.
Yeah,
That's pretty damn good.
which is crazy for we're talking about University of Connecticut here,
Yeah.
which you wouldn't think that is
His family's
Kentucky,
But that's just it. His family's from New Jersey, so he really likes that area. It's just right there.
He played for a Duke, didn't he?
Dan Hurley,
Dan Hurley,
I'm
yeah, I
not
think
sure.
he did.
I'm not aware of that. But yeah, I mean, one thing I really liked about his whole national championship run, and then we could just get into that game. I saw something that he had said 2 years ago that when he got beat, damn it, I'm forgetting the team now that beat him. He said, that's fine, enjoy it. And you're getting us now. Enjoy that you're getting us now because we're coming.
Yeah.
And damn, in the last 2 years, he's fucking taking care of it, man. Dominated last year's. I mean, St. Mary's was like a Cinderella team that shouldn't even been really there. But, I mean, hats off to him for getting there, but then gets dominated in the championship and then the same way in this year. So, Purdue takes them on last night. Held their own for the first 15 minutes or so, and then UConn. To me, when I was, I told you why I had to watch all of it. I ended up winning my first bracket challenge, maybe since high school.
Congrats!
Yeah, but the thing of it is, I had to watch it because the tiebreaker thing. And
I'll play this for you.
Oh yeah, backing up the Brinks truck.
Back up that Brinks.
Yep,
Put the money in the man's hand.
Got a C note from it. I was happy about that.
Shit.
Yep. Well,
guess who's buying the whiskey?
Yeah, that's true. I had to pay for the dentist today. That wasn't cheap.
Well, that means you need more whiskey.
Yeah, I did. I was kind of hoping we'd have something to help with it today. But yeah. So I just think that watching the whole game, what I could take from UConn is it's like quicksand. You may be able to fight your way out and just get your head above it. Sometimes they would get within 8, sometimes they'd get within 7, but then UConn would punch right back. It's like watching a boxing fight, and then you see this experienced heavyweight champion that just knows how to win, and that's what they do. Then once they, would lose the lead down to 7 or something like that, then they would boost it back up to 14 and then 16, and then, God, it was just, it's quicksand. You couldn't climb out of it.
Yeah, and for me, after the first 15 minutes, the game is basically over. It wasn't really worth watching. I still had it on in the background, but yeah, you're just looking at a UConn team that plays like an NBA team, and Purdue, much like Iowa and Caitlin Clark, is a one-trick pony, and it's Zach Edey. And they let Zach Edey go for 37 points, 10 rebounds, 0 assists, but it doesn't matter as they win by 15. And as we were talking about earlier, Chad mentioned, UConn won every single one of their tournament games by over 14 points.
Unbelievable.
It's not even fair.
Completely dominated it. Yeah, I just cannot believe how well they performed. And I handed a lot to Dan Hurley. I think what we're seeing now is, because everybody can name, not everybody, but for most casual fans, when you think of the men's college basketball stars, you think of Zach Edey.
Yeah.
Some of them can name Dalton Connect for Tennessee. There's not a lot of stars, but going into national championships game, even watching so many of the games throughout the tournament I did, I couldn't even memorize. I didn't know any of the UConn players. I just know they had a great team. They lost 3 3 players to the draft last year, and still. This guy, Hurley, coaches this team up and right back. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, and it's funny, though, watching Purdue with
Giannis
Zach
is
Edey.
limping to the locker room. Looks like he sprained his ankle.
That's not good. But watching Zach Edey, compared to their guards who are 6'2", I was like, dude, they look like children.
Oh, man. And UConn, I really hand it to coaching. That's what I was kind of getting at with that is it's different than the way we used to see it, where stars would win national championships. They could carry you all the way. It doesn't work the way it is anymore, because you look at South Carolina and Don Staley. They have stars there, but you look at the supporting cast. It's like you told me the other night. There's Iowa Clark, and then she doesn't have her horses running with her. Where, there's a stampede on South Carolina.
Yeah,
they're all good players, and that's the way it is. And you see the way UConn game plan for Zach Edey. You know how that pick and roll that Murray, you could do with any kind of Murray and Jokic do, where Zach Edey would take it at the key after a pick and roll and start heading down to the post with the ball, and then you would see the guard dump it off over his head.
Yeah.
They telegraphed it. They were intercepting it over and over again.
You kept seeing him just go boop.
Oh, yeah. As soon as they knew that's all they had. They didn't have that. I handed to that coach for Purdue. He's a really cool guy. I dig him a lot. He's a real players coach. But there's not. You got to have more of an offensive game plan than that. It was Zach Edey, and that's it. So hats off to UConn. That's amazing. I wouldn't doubt it if we see him right up there next year.
Yeah, I think your I just mentioned this, Juice, but I think your Kansas Jayhawks are second behind Purdue in terms of favorites for the NCAA.
I really, after last year, we were ranked number 1 going into last year, and that sucked how last year ended. So I ain't paying attention to that shit. Oh man, I'll wait until 10 games into the season to even try to judge it at all. I don't know.
Yeah. So, but we're talking about last week, Zach Edey. You said you thought he was going to be like a top 10 pick, but I think you can definitely see.
Oh yeah.
After that
Not at
UConn
all.
game, Klingon outplayed him entirely. Well, I mean, he's still got his, but Edey is. All he can do is get in the paint and shoot hook shots.
I mean, could you imagine him against Jokic? I mean,
Jokic
he would eat him up.
Jokic would have 50 on him.
Or Gobert.
Got 50,
Gobert,
brother.
These guys, I mean, even Wemby, who's pretty much close to the same size and skinnier, I think would block his shots constantly because he's not real shifty or like creative with how he's gonna twist and turn. Like
he's using he's 7'4", and
that's
he's a giant compared to everybody else in the NCAA. So I do think you will see Zach Edey fall into the 20s, and we were talking about it a little before. Chad said he mentioned it to Dan at work. And I said it to Chad not knowing he said that, but imagine him as a backup center to Jokic and learning a few things.
Dan was the one that mentioned to me that like he could be falling near that Nuggets area, and that's when I was like, dude, if they took him back up to Jokic, Jokic could train him, try to get him, groomed right. But aside from that, how about the Olympics? You got the Canadian team with Shea, SGA, and Murray.
Dude, USA
and
screwed.
Zach Edey. Zach Edey with that team too. All right. Dude, I can't wait for the Olympics run. Paris is going to be fun.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if Serbia wins the gold in basketball.
I think it'd be pretty cool if they do, man.
Serbia
I'm always
Canada,
USA, but
it might be Serbia and Canada.
I think I'm more of a Jokic fan than I am a US fan. And I take this, and I know this is biased, and all you LeBron lovers out there can suck it because this is why. If it wasn't for LeBron being on this new team, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be all about USA basketball. You know? But he needed Kobe to come through and save him. There ain't nobody saving him now.
Yeah, that's true.
Michael Jordan ain't walking through that door.
He might. He might unretire. You never know. He could probably still put up 20.
Well, let's move on to the wait before let's keep going on the men's with the announcement today that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Make sure you emphasize that Kareem.
I said Kareem,
not Kareem.
Larry Nerd.
Robbie
Avila enters the transfer portal. The phenom out of Indiana State is gonna try to build his name somewhere else.
Yeah, and Mr. Robbie Avila, Bobby Buckets, whatever you want to call him.
Many nicknames.
He got screwed. They got shafted this Final Four NCAA tournament, whatever you want to call it. They got shafted, stuck in the NIL. They should have been there.
Yep.
Probably would have beat CSU and went on.
Or, Virginia. Virginia is the first team that I would knock out.
Well, they would have been Virginia playing CSU is what I'm saying. And they probably would have beat CSU.
Yeah, I see what you mean, yeah.
But, he's going to enter the transfer portal, and he's probably going to go somewhere to a Blue Blood or somebody like that. And we'll see if he can play like that against, top tier.
I know this is off the subject of Robbie, but I just now remember this. I'm glad I wanted to bring it up. I saw this post that was like kind of like the NFL memery kind of thing that was like, you know what we need to do since Bronny James is all like, I declare for the NFL NBA draft. You know what we need to do is just have Caitlin Clark go one-on-one with him.
And that's how he gets in. Like, he can only go to the NBA.
Winner goes on to the NBA. Loser has to go to the WNBA.
Dominated.
Good. Loser has to go make $200,000, probably $100,000 actually, because $200,000 is the most WNBA players are making.
Yeah.
And then the winner gets on to go make a rookie contract of at least $1 million. So, I take Clayton Clark any day, man.
Oh, against Bronny, I mean, look what he's done in college.
Average 4.8 points. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's declaring for the NBA draft. Well, sorry, I'm playing videos over here. Amateur hour twice today. To see him, also keep his college eligibility as well as the ability to enter the transfer portal just goes to show you that they're not sure what's going to happen. And it's like we were talking the other day. I think this is lining up for the Lakers to take a low end flyer on Bronny and get him to play with his dad 1 year to bring LeBron back for one more season before he retires.
It's very likely. Could be right in history there, Chris.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, let's talk about
big
that
stuff.
Women's National Championship real quick. It was
tell me
amazing.
how many people watched it, Chad.
18. I don't have the decimal. It was 18.
I think it's
something
18.2.
million. Okay, 18.2 million viewers.
Yeah.
Highest rated ESPN basketball game of all time, NBA or college, playoffs or not. Unbelievable. Shattered records.
Yeah. And it just goes to show you what we were talking about earlier with the men's side being so lackluster. It's just like everybody wanted to watch the women's games.
I was really fascinated watching it, man. I really thought Iowa jumped out to that 10-0 lead. Then they were up 20-9. I thought, wow, is she really going to pull this off? And then Don Staley shifted things around and saw, oh, no, we're not letting her go off for 40 on us. Put Raven Johnson on Caitlin Clark, and then after that, when Raven was guarding Caitlin Clark, she went 3 for 11 and had a 26% field goal percentage, I think it was. It was a total game changer. And then you saw at the end where Caitlin was just kind of getting desperate, throwing up long threes and hitting the front of the rim, which is a clear sign of fatigue, and her legs are tired. So I hand it to Dawn Staley. We're going to talk about her a little more here in a second, but I just think that like what she is doing there is GOAT status.
Yeah, and this is kind of tying into when we're going to talk about her here in a little bit, but by beating the Hawkeyes 87-75, she's now become the 10th. They've become the 10th team in Division I history to complete an undefeated season, joining UConn, who's done it 6 times, Baylor, Tennessee, and Texas as the only programs to achieve the feat. So
pretty impressive.
Yeah,
good. Went undefeated, man. Just went undefeated all last year, then lost in the Elite Eight, and then to go all year. I mean, to some of these there wasn't an undefeated team in men's basketball. It's just so hard to go perfect, and they did it, and to climb the mountaintop and do it the way they did. Cardosa hitting that 3 in that Tennessee game, they say, is like the real game, the shift in their tournament run where they were like, all right, we're not letting anybody get close to us. And yeah, right when Iowa had that lead, it wasn't long before Iowa or South Carolina took it, and they never let it go. They never let it back.
No, and good on Caitlin Clark. I don't want to go too much more into this because it all ties in to the DDOE.
Damn
Just
right.
a little foreshadowing. Don Staley is the DDOE this week. But
You heard it here first.
yes, before we get into that, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's it, sir.
All right, let's move into the UFC as we now have one hell of event this weekend. So let us get into it.
Let's get it on!
Let's
That's
get it
right.
on. Indeed, UFC 300 is finally upon us. The stacked card of the century is this Saturday in Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, and this is, I've never seen a card quite like this. You could go run down to the very first fight on the early prelims, which is, you won't believe it, Cody Garbrandt and Deiveson Figueiredo. I mean, this is a fight that could be on the main card, any other month or something. So
Yeah, and
it's
been a
unreal.
while since Cody's fought, hasn't it?
No, just about, I think, a month and a half or so. It wasn't. It maybe 2 months. I think it wasn't too long ago. But yeah, I could seriously run down every single fight on this card, but I'm gonna just try to hit on the main card and then 2 others that I'm super interested in. But yeah, we'll start off with the championship fights here: Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Odds-on favorite Alex at -135 to +114 for Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill tore his Achilles actually
this is
last
his
year
first fight
playing
back.
basketball, and that's why I'm taking Pereira. Pereira is just Poetan. He's dangerous. He's got so much power in that left hook, and the thing of it is like I just don't trust athletes after a torn Achilles. We haven't ever seen anybody really recover from it other than Klay Thompson coming back and winning that finals a couple years ago, but even then it was really Steph Curry that was leading that team.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, he was able to come back, but it's just super rare. You don't see it too often. We have yet to see it from Aaron Rodgers. It's one of the most, when I was going through my ACL repair and rehab in high school, I had guys next to me that was doing Achilles, and their rehab was even worse than mine.
Yeah.
That looked awful. So, yeah. What about you? Who do you got picked on that one?
I think I'm going to take Poetan as well. I do think Hill's a better overall striker, but I think Pereira's going to win. I think it's going to probably go the distance, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it goes the distance. These guys are, I think, with it being UFC 300, I think we're going to see a lot of fireworks. I
We'll
just
see. I think I could just see there's so much crazier shit going on below this one that it's very easy that this one could be like the kind of
the boring fight. Yeah. Just we haven't really seen any boring fights from Pereira, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, the dude's like a warrior from the outskirts of Brazil, like, I mean, straight up, third world country type of warrior. So he's a different breed. Then the other championship fight, women's strawweight division, Zhang Wei Li versus, she is the champion, versus Yan Zhuan, and this is pretty unprecedented. We have two Chinese fighters in the women's division for the first time in history. Pretty fascinating. Zhang, the legend, what a lot of people are considering carrying the whole women's division right now, because Valentina's been a little silent. Yeah, but I think this is the number one contender. Yan is the one that's going to come through and win this. A lot of people are. She's fighting under alpha male at Uriah Faber's fight camp. I think that's going to make all the difference in the world. He produces nothing but champions.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the records for both of them. You got Zhang at 24-3, Yan at 17-3. This is going to be a tough one. I mean, they're pretty much like evenly matched as much as you could be.
I was kind of surprised though. Yan's a big underdog at plus 340 to Wei Li's minus 500. Crazy,
that's huge
for the number one contender. I was like,
that
what?
Is huge.
I don't know, man. I just think if you watch Yan's fights, not a lot of people know about her, but man, she is. I think the last time she fought was Jessica Andrade.
No, weird. On UFC, they don't have the odds.
No, they only have it on a couple of them. I noticed that I'm on UFC.com, and it's that fight that's the only one that they don't have the odds.
I mean, if you've got some money to burn, I might throw a flyer on Yan to win.
And that's what I was saying, is in her last fight, she pummeled Jessica Andrade.
Yeah,
who's also on this card.
Up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
let's move to one of the most exciting fights.
This one here.
I think this one in and of itself probably could have headlined UFC 300 if you ask me, which is Justin Gaethje versus, I said that weird, Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway for the BMF title. Yep. Both brawlers. Both of these guys, when the fight's over, either the other guy looks like he got beat to shit or everybody does.
Oh, yeah. We have some of the both of these guys are the baddest motherfuckers in the game.
That's why it's called the BMF.
It is. And Justin Gaethje, I watched UFC Countdown, and this dude, I think, is pretty excited about it. I think he's embraced the BMF title. More so, not so like for...
He kind of exudes what the BMF title
exactly.
is about.
He says, like, and I love his statement on it where he says, when they give my Hall of Fame speech, they're going to mention this. So he's already confident that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, which is more than likely going to happen because he has, I think, 21 fight bonuses in his career or something like that.
Yeah, dude loves to finish. Yeah, 21 and his 26 fights, mind you.
Yeah.
Well, 30 fights, sorry.
Yep. It's unreal. And then you got Max Holloway. We talked about this fight when we had Farzin on a couple weeks, or maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. This is the fight that I'm most excited for, and it really is like if the Chiefs were playing against the Chiefs. These are two of my favorite fighters. Max Holloway is amazing. He's done a lot for Hawaii, especially since the fires. I mean, he's raised so much awareness for how that country's been, or that whole situation's just a nutcase. And so I really am a big fan of Max's. And then Justin, coming out of Colorado, I mean...
Hometown boy.
Yep, hometown boy. They do have Justin favored at minus 170 to plus 142 for Max. I'm going to take Justin Gaethje because I think this guy's leg kicks are pretty much an axe chopping down an oak tree. And Max is taller. He's a little lankier.
He's got a little more weight this time, too, according to this. And 162.
Well, Max always fights at a weight class lower, but a little, now he's getting a little longer in his career.
A little long in the tooth, as they say.
Yep, he's jumping up to 155. And and a lot of people are critical of this fight. I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but to me, this is the best fight of the whole entire card. But a lot of people are really critical of this fight because a lot of people think it should have been Gaethje versus Islam for the title, and then Sarukian versus Oliveira and then Max Holloway versus Topuria. So, I mean, it's basically a money grab for the UFC by being like, we're going to create this title,
This
BMF,
was just to make
and then
the
we
UFC
can have
300 bigger, I think.
And
This
it
fight
is.
in and of
Yep.
itself, yeah.
Because we can use the BMF title to have two bad motherfuckers go in there, and it's
Yep.
great because Max Holloway, who fights at a lower weight class, has totally welcomed the challenge. He said, back in Gladiator days, there wasn't weight classes. Nobody hopped on scales, and so this is what we're doing. And it was announced today that, like how Bryce Mitchell got his camo shorts and Sean...
I was going to bring this up if you didn't mention it.
Yeah,
so good on you.
dude, I'm so tuned into the UFC and so
You are.
pumped for this fight, or this whole fight card. But it was announced today that Max Holloway is getting his floral shorts.
Yeah.
Hawaiian proud.
Yeah.
Happy for the dude.
Yeah, it's cool to see. Like you were saying, he did so much for Hawaii when all that shit was going on. So I'm excited to see him be able to rep his state and hometown with his shorts.
It could be one of those cases where if there's a draw, I could actually be happy about it.
Yeah.
But no, nobody wants to see that. But
I don't know what other ones you want to talk about, but I did just want to mention this. I don't know if you've looked at the odds on Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage.
yeah, I did. I wanted to bring this up. I wrote it down, dude.
Insane.
Unbelievable. So Bo Nickel, the guy that the UFC and Dana is paving the way to get his
this guy's
title
supposed
shot,
to be the one Dana loves, his golden boy, so to speak.
comes out of Penn State as one of the best wrestlers in collegiate history. But see, UFC's got the odds at minus 2,100 for
Yeah,
Bo
that's what I was
Nickel,
saying,
going up
dude.
against a guy that just looks like a guy that he'd fight in a bar, just some bro,
Yeah.
Cody Brundage. When I looked earlier today, it was on FanDuel.
Oh my God, you had crazier odds than me.
FanDuel's
Holy
got it
shit.
at Bo Nickel at minus 3,000. This is insane. And Bo Nickel, even though he's a wrestler, he's been proven that his striking is what's the most improved facet of his game.
Yeah, that's what everybody's kind of blown
Yeah.
away by. Like, this guy's not just going to wrestle you; he's going to try and knock you out first and foremost.
It's incredible. He can do it. He can do it all. I think he is going to fight for the title with probably by the end of the year, if not the beginning of 2025. But I think he's easily going to win this fight. There's no doubt about it. Let's. There's one more on the main card I want to touch on just real quick. It's awesome. Finally, he's not cut beforehand. I'm kind of shocked. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Sarukian. Sarukian's favored at minus 230, and then Oliveira at plus 176. Kind of shocking. Oliveira is the underdog, but Vegas knows the weight behind Sarukian's hits, and this dude coming over Armenia. There's a lot of hype around this guy. There's a lot of talks that if he wins this, then he should get the title shot next too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you roll into the prelims, dude. Jesus Christ.
Every fight, every single fight.
Yuri
dude.
Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic.
That one, man.
Or Rakic.
If Yuri
Rakic.
was saying a couple days ago that if he wins this fight, then he should get a rematch against Pereira if Pereira wins.
Yeah.
And then so there's two other fights that I just kind of want to discuss real quick, and then we'll move on. I'll just tell you guys, watch this card. It's the whole. Sometimes I don't really. I'll put the prelims on, but then I won't put the whole fight on the big screen until like the main card. The whole thing's getting on the big screen. This one, it's going to be great. But these two prelims are huge. You got Kayla Harrison coming over from PFL. This chick is a brawler.
They don't even have a picture for her.
No,
UFC.
yeah, because she's this is going to be her first fight on the roster. Yeah, because she was a champion at UFL
Or PFL.
Oh yeah,
We've been talking
I
about the
haven't been
UFL.
saying UFL. She was in football.
Yeah, she started it.
But she's going up against the preacher's daughter,
Holly
the
Holm.
legend, the ageless Holly Holm. But
What is
she's
she, like 42 now?
dude, she's got to be over 40. She's the one, if nobody remembers, shocked the world with the head kick to knock Ronda Rousey out.
Mm-hmm.
She's a heavy underdog in this though, plus 320 to Kayla Harrison's minus 460.
Yeah, and then UFC, again, they don't have the odds. I think they don't want people to know that. They're like, we're not going to show you the odds.
Maybe
so
if
you-
it's favored. I don't know why they're doing that. But the website's weird on UFC sometimes.
Before we move on, though, I do just want to say this Diego Lopez guy looks like a goober.
And there's one other fight I want to touch on, but let me find this Diego. Oh, wow, he does. Yeah, he looks like Josh Hartnett if Josh Hartnett was emo.
Yeah.
People look up Diego Lopez.
And his chest tattoo is Dream, Believe. and make it happen.
I'd say Sadiq Yusuf, and this is another good fight.
I'm going to take
not a lot of people
Sadiq
know.
Yusuf just off of the way Diego looks.
He's a good fighter. The other one, then this one is down, I think, on the prelims.
earlies?
Where's it at? Yeah, it's the early prelims. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. Now, I want to bring this up.
Jim Miller,
even though these guys have been in the UFC forever. Jim Miller fought on UFC 100. Yeah. Then he fought on UFC 200.
Yeah, he said his thing was that he wanted to fight on UFC 300.
That's just incredible. To have that type of career. I wanted to figure out, I know it's over, I think, 50 fights that he has. Come on, Internet. What's it at?
He's
37-17.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's got 54 fights.
54 fights under his belt, man. Legend. Jim Miller, I mean, this guy's been in the game for a long time. To not let
Bobby Green, 31, 15 and 1.
Another one that's been in it for ages. I mean, these guys
fights
aren't, if they're not losing against each other, they're not losing against Father Time. That's for sure. Because I cannot believe, there's, the average fight career in the UFC does not last that long. I mean, you're already looking at John Jones. That's surprised he hasn't retired yet. But it's just insane that they're still getting after it.
Yeah,
hats off to them.
And then on this early prelim, you also have Jessica Andrade taking on Marina Rodriguez. So another huge fight. So, tune in however you watch it, whether it be nefariously or if you're going to pay for it or if you're going to go to a bar. Do what you got to do.
Brothers Bar always has it on. Then you got Aljamain Sterling against Calvin Kattar. I just got to throw that in there, dude. It's just every fight on here is amazing. Aljamain Sterling was just a champion just a couple of fights ago. So...
All right, well, it's that time.
Let's get to it.
It's time to grip it, rip it. Always make sure you're sipping it and hit it hard, man.
Couldn't have said it better.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances.
Playing hard. I hit it hard.
That's right. Yep. The Daily Dose of Excellence, we already mentioned, goes to Dawn Staley. South Carolina winning that national championship just even more cemented her legacy as not just as a GOAT for women's college basketball history, but just women's college basketball in general. Because if not a lot of people know, she was a 2-time National College Player of the Year while playing for Virginia. Mm-hmm. Then goes on to be a WBCA Player of the Year, 91-92. Then USB, there's a lot of acronyms there. Player of the Year, 1991-92. ACC Player of the Year. And then as a coach, that made her third national title. Mm-hmm. It was 2017 and then back-to-back, or not back-to-back, but 2022 and then 2024. 6-time regional champion in the Final Four. 8-time SEC tournament champion. I mean, it's just... Oh, this is the big one. The last 4 years, she's taken this award, Coach of the Year. She lost 5 starters from her team last year.
Insane.
5 starters. And then 1 bench player to the WNBA. 1 player that wasn't even good enough to be a starter, but was still good enough to make the WNBA draft.
WNBA needs some help.
Then she still comes through there and then coaches her team up to win the national championship. Go undefeated. It's unreal. Her game plan for Iowa Clark. Caitlin Clark was unreal. She just had her blitz the whole time. Raven Johnson blanketed her. It was a complete shadow the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
And then to top it off afterwards, she really said it best. Take it over, Chris.
Yeah, to quote Dawn Staley here, this is on the podium after, they kick it to her to give her thoughts and everything, and she's started it out by saying this: I want to personally thank Caitlin Clark for lifting up our sport. She carried a heavy load for our sport, and it's just not going to stop here on the collegiate tour. But when she is the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft, she's going to lift that league up as well. So Caitlin Clark, if you're out there, you are one of the GOATs of our game, and we appreciate you. Just goes to show, man, game recognizes game from one GOAT to another. I do think it is one of those things that maybe isn't really thought of when it comes to Caitlin Clark, like how much of a load she was actually carrying. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like when it comes down to trying to cap off her career with the the win, getting it in the Final Four, coming so close. And then, it's kind of what we were talking about last week, too, though. I really hope that these ladies, this isn't the most impact they're going to have. I hope it's going to go on into the WNBA.
Well, I don't even think we have to worry about that because news came out today. I think I couldn't remember if I brought it up. I don't think it was live, right?
This is before we were talking.
I just wanted to bring it up to go into this, that it came out today that the Indiana Fever and Las Vegas Aces, their first game next year, they have already moved it to the T-Mobile Arena from the Michelob Ultra Arena where the Aces normally play, which seat 12,000, and I'm sure maybe 9,000 show up or something like that. They're moving it to the T-Mobile Arena, which seats 20,000, already anticipating before Clark is drafted to the Fever. And then the hype for next year's Diana Taurasi game versus Clark is already getting a ton of talk because of what Diana said about Clark being like, reality hasn't even met her yet. She's playing against 18, 19-year-olds. Wait till she plays against grown women.
Yeah.
Seeing someone like Caitlin Clark and seeing these different analysts that have kind of broken it down, they expect where she kind of has that gene where she's going to take that and use that as motivation. So I think she's going to carry into the WNBA as well. We got guys like C. Ruff, who we've had on, who does Timeout Sports Podcast. He has lifted WNBA and covered it a lot, even covering the way these girls are showing up to the game and stuff. I mean, I think that, and especially I just saw on Snoop Dogg's Instagram today where it was like some kind of like silly reel talking, just showing the difference between the men's tournament, between the women's. I mean, the hype is just nuts. I think it's going to continue. Paige Beckers is going to come back next year. Or no, excuse me. I think Paige is. I think she's coming back next year. And then you got Juju Watkins, who's a freshman. I mean, and then the WNBA, I think it's just with Clark. Angel Reese is going into there. You got Cameron Brink from Stafford.
She did not declare.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but then you get the class of Cardosa from South Carolina. She's going to be going to the NBA.
Yeah.
That class of 2020 is just insane.
Yeah, and we did bring it up a while back. The Aces were the first WNBA team to sell out all of their season tickets.
Oh wow,
so
that's pretty cool.
I do hope it's going to continue. I mean, if you watched the NCAA women's tournament this year, you would see that women's college basketball is extremely entertaining. It's played like actual basketball should be played. It's like watching like the Nuggets play. It's not the most entertaining sometimes, but it's basketball.
I'm glad you brought this up. I am definitely not like that smart when it comes to the IQ of basketball. I just can very casually talk about it. I can go play across the street and make myself look like a fool. So believe me, I all I can say is that just watching it as a fan, you can really see a difference because, when you're playing against guys like Giannis, the Bucks and Celtics game just got finished up. You have to be, the game's just played a lot differently because of the size and how high these guys can jump. So what I watched when I was watching the tournament this year was the acuity of the bounce passes is something I feel like I would like to see JJ Redick's numbers or something like that of the level of the numbers of bounce passes in women's college basketball compared to men's, because to me sometimes that's almost more entertaining. You see these bounce passes. Sometimes they were doing it in between legs. Nut. What do you call that? The nut pass.
I can't remember.
I can't think of it either. But it's like when you pass it in between the legs. I mean, you just see the cutting and the creativity because you have to get these chicks open, and the way these women are able to hit these long range shots. To me, it is way entertaining.
Yeah, and
it's fundamentals at its best.
Yeah, it really is. It's the fundamentals of basketball, and they put the fun in fundamentals.
Just like you, buddy.
Yeah, and we try to put the fun in sports each and every week on Fringe Fanatics. We appreciate you guys. If you haven't yet, please make sure to go like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, rate us 5 stars, and leave us a review. We will be back next week, as always. We love and appreciate you guys.
And we plan on coming back next week with Farzine to have him recap the UFC 300.
Yeah,
Yep.
So stick around, tune in. We will be back. Love you guys. Toodles.
Love you guys.